Welcome to another round of Gavin's painting tips. This is number 20. In this video, I'm going to show you how I mix my earth tones for landscapes using 3 different colors. This demonstration, I'm using cerulean blue, cadmium yellow, unbleached titanium, white, and orange instead of red. Notice the ladybug as I paint. I use a little bit of linseed oil that's been sitting around to thin out the paint, and a palette knife that's been sharpened. Linseed oil, after it's been sitting out for a while, is actually called stand oil, which they sell in the stores as well. Begin with the blue in the first box, not mixed with any other color or white. For the next box, you want to add a little bit of white. Here you can see I added too much white, creating a very light tone. And you can start to see what the paint does. What I mean by that is each brand is different and has either more or less oil or more or less pigment. If you use really good paint, you'll be able to create more values easier. Each square, it gets a little bit lighter as you go, and this is going to teach you how to control color. You can mix right onto the board if you don't like the color that you got. As you see here, I mixed a little bit more white into that blue. Now this little study that I'm doing is blue dominant, which means blue is going to be mixed in with everything. So the first square, what I do is get a little bit off yellow with the blue, just to get the mixture going and see what happens with the paint. Make sure to clean off your palette knife each time you mix a new color. So the 3 blues that I use almost all the time are cobalt, ultramarine, and cerulean. I also use phthalo and I use violets, but in this demonstration I'm using cerulean to show you how to mix tertiary values. So you can see how nice a green you get just with a little bit of cadmium yellow and cerulean. You can do the same thing with black and get a really nice green. I add just a little tiniest bit of white and create the next square. Remember, the top squares are pure chroma and they're not hued out. They don't have any white. So for the third swatch, what I'm going to do is add orange to the original mixture of cerulean blue and cadmium yellow. This way I can see what 3 colors hued out look like and have it on a board that I can score next to paintings if I ever want to mix that color again. I add more orange than blue for the last top square. Make sure not to put any white in the initial top squares. This is called a hue chart. So what we're doing is hewing the value down with white to create the illusion of atmosphere. Here I found the value to be too close to the top value, so I add a little more white. So tonality is the same as value, but chroma and hue are different. Chroma is the intensity of the color, the hue is how light it gets. A tint is how darker it gets. I did this by eye, so it's a little off center. You could be as neat as you want with this, but this is just a study. You could go back in and paint the squares white around those squares. So here you go. I waited a bunch of days before taking the tape off to make sure it was dry. Remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment, and I'll definitely reply. Have a wonderful day today and keep on painting.